Hello everyone, it's Peter Moran from Property Central. I'm here today with our special guest in property management, Monique Van Dam. Welcome, Monique.
Thanks, Pete.
So Monique, what's it like living with the famous husband, Claude Van Dam?
Always interesting, that's for sure. But he always he told people during high school that he was related to him, so he got through unscathed in high school. But get asked that quite a lot actually.
And I guess just for the record, his real name isn't Claude?
No.
That's right. All right, well let's talk about some more important things now. We're going to talk about the subject of repairs and maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a busy department really in any property management portfolio.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess probably the most important thing that really is raised between tenants and also landlords is urgent repairs.
Yes.
So what actually constitutes an urgent repair?
Generally speaking, it's anything that could, damage the property, so a burst water pipe, hot water systems, that kind of stuff. So in particular things that outside of our office hours, if the tenants need something addressed urgently, then it needs to be phoned up to our electrician or our plumber or something like that. So generally repairs that need to be attended to within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay. Now obviously we've got after hours contact details for our agency here, but what happens in worst case scenario if it is super urgent repair? What are the tenants' rights in that instance?
Obviously, if they've got their lease on hand, they can contact our emergency contacts. But other than that, they are authorised to contact another repair. If they can't get onto our plumber, for instance, they are authorised to contact another plumber if it is deemed an emergency and get them out to address the situation. So as I said, if it's something to do with, say, a burst water pipe, we want that addressed urgently so that it doesn't damage the property further. And then we just ask that tenants contact us as soon as possible so that we're aware of the situation and can update the owner of what's happened and get the situation rectified.
Okay, all right. So I guess moving forward from there, under the terms of the lease, the landlord has to provide the premises as fit for habitable occupation,
Yes.
which leads into the subject of maintenance. So generally, what is the landlord's responsibility in terms of maintenance of the property?
Well, that's where routine inspections are so important, to make sure that we're going through and keeping an eye on what's happening at the property and keeping the owners updated. So if paint's starting to flake on the ceiling and things like that, we make them aware of that and make recommendations as to improvements to the property. It's easier to maintain smaller issues as they arise rather than waiting till the end of a tenancy and having lots of things to fix up. So generally it's our recommendation to the owner, and what they decide to do from that, we can get quotes for them. But making sure that the property is safe at all times for the tenants. So in particular things like locks on doors, windows and things like that need to be addressed straight away too.
Okay, all right. Now obviously then the tenants are living in the property and something does break down and needs to be repaired. What is the best way then for a tenant to contact us in terms of getting a repair done?
Obviously urgent repairs, we'd ask them to phone the office straight away, but everything else we do request to be in writing, just so that we've got a record of everything that's been reported to us, and then that way we can contact the owner and address the issue and book in the tradespeople as required.
Sure. And I think too, obviously, with repairs, they can't always be acted upon within 24 hours. As you say, you've really got to contact the owners and get instructions from them.
That's right.
And I know we've got some landlords that are based overseas as well. So is there a general expectation as to maybe when the tenant would expect to get an answer back regarding a repair?
With general repairs, we'd usually say within a week we'd like to have something actioned. Obviously that does come back to what the repair is. If it's something that's minor, like a tap washer, then generally we can get approval from the owner and get a plumber out there straight away. If it's something that requires a quote or several quotes, so maybe there's some decking boards that need replacing, then it can sometimes take a little bit longer for us to get those quotes back and get the approval from the owner. So I'd say usually within the week is where we would like to get repairs done, but it can sometimes go a little bit longer than that for non-urgent repairs.
Okay, all right. Now, and finally then, we're now sort of into the second week of summer, and I know in the past sometimes you'll get requests from tenants looking at areas perhaps where they want to get changes done to the property, if the property's one that didn't have fly screen doors fitted or fly screens on the window or air conditioning. What are the tenant's rights or the landlord's responsibilities in those instances?
Any requests like that, we ask that the tenant obviously again put it in writing for us. Landlord's responsibilities, tenants view the property how it is when they accept the property, so landlords don't have to do those updates to the property. If it comes to things like fly screens or air conditioning or things like that, if it's an improvement to the property that we think would benefit the owner in the future in reletting the property, we'll obviously make that recommendation that it could be worth doing. It also comes back to a tenancy as well. If the tenants have been in there for a long time, they pay their rent on time and look after the property, again it's something we would probably suggest to the owner to look into. but their requirements, they don't have to get those things actioned if they don't actually want to. But it comes down to a conversation with the tenants as well. We've had instances where tenants have offered to increase their rent, or they've offered to pay for half of an air conditioning unit. So there's different situations to combat those requests that come through from the tenants.
Oh, excellent. All right, well, I think that probably covers a fair bit on the repairs and maintenance side for today. So thank you, everyone, and we wish you all a great weekend.